Hello everyone, welcome back to Shelby County with me, Mr. Fox. Everything's going good today. I was just fixing up this building because apparently it didn't have the stairs up and below the windows, so it wasn't even symmetrical. I'm working my way over to Llama News. I keep wanting to say Lamaton every time. It's funny. Now, Llama News, this building right here, the one we all know and love, has a serious issue. Right? It's... don't know if you guys can see it yet. It's kind of out of scale. Right? So you look at Llama News, and then you look at these buildings. And I know it's supposed to be a tall, impressive skyscraper, or whatever. But it's just a little bit too tall on its own, And so if I was to I don't know, even take this building and make it go high, take that building, make it go high, it might look fine, but then again, it's gonna look kind of ridiculous. Like, this is the tallest building in amongst other buildings that are, small. Which is technically fine. I mean, it's not the world's biggest issue, but it just looks out of scale. It looks like it's really standing by itself. Also looks gigantic. My God, man. So what we need to do is figure out how to improve it, how to make it all, I don't know, work together a little bit better. Hello everyone, welcome back. So, it's me from the future. I come back to give you my response to Llama News and how I changed it. Because the clip where I did react to it, right, got corrupted. So I'm here to make amends. Now, Llama News has been shrunk from whatever amount of floors it had before to this amount. It looks a lot more reasonable, a lot more in scale, and in tune with the rest of the town, because it's not, all the way up there. So, while it didn't look totally bad before, you can already tell it looks much better down here with the rest of us. So, it's looking really, really good. Really, really proud of it. Really, really happy with it. That was it. I'm going to let you get back to whatever the rest of this video ends up being. Because at this moment in my life, I don't know. Maybe I'm still recording it. Maybe I'm already editing it. Maybe I'm just doing a weird mixture of both. I don't know. Okay, so when it comes to this building, right, we have to look at this building in order to imagine our next building. So obviously, we can't go anything grey, because it'll blend too much with this. Well, we can go grey, it just has to be a very different texture of grey. So I'm gonna go with tough and acacia. That's how long it takes me to decide what block I'm building with. That, my friends, is why I'm super glad Glitch is taking Riverside Valley, Riverside State, and Winchester Bay. Which, by the way, Riverside State is being designed as we live and breathe. I got a look at the Blue Palace the other day, and it's looking very, very nice. Now, I probably want to use... I'm so glad I typed it wrong, but yet I got what I wanted. Okay, Elytra has to come off, because it's gonna get very annoying. White glass... So we'll have a couple of windows like this. I know it kind of seems like I just throw things together. That's because I do. Well, but that's the beauty of Shelby County. Well, Shelby City, I should say. Not everywhere else, because everywhere else I'd have to, rethink how I do things. Like, I'd have to go for a certain style of architecture. Whereas my filler buildings, because I started them in such a way, or a certain way, with no architecture in mind, it means I could do anything. And it's the most gorgeous thing ever. I'm so glad I don't have an actual architecture to stick with. But yeah, what I'd like is buildings here, because I really want to fill up this place, because it's got a great length, just it's horrible width. It does not go out very far. It's horrible. If you walk for 5 minutes from here, you'll reach the ocean. I would do it, but I'm not going to. Okay, so then what we do, and most of my buildings, most of them, are squares. And sometimes I get the idea of like, ooh, maybe I should, I don't know, make this into a factory or something. Maybe that will be interesting. Or like, not a factory, but some sort of company HQ. But I mean, that's not up for me to decide. No, because what I would add, for no apparent reason, is like a walkway with area for trucks to come in. That's what I want to do. But I'd have to hook up a whole company and give them a whole purpose. And what's that perfect for? Atrix survival. Exactly. So by building buildings like this, in this sort of area, right, really challenging people to like look, find, and discover what they want. I also shouldn't go level with this building. That'll look very, very boring. Never go level with the next building, because it's fine, but if you have a very flat wall, it's just boring. So you really don't want that. Okay. So set oak. Okay. So I'm about to take my second position in terms of the copy command. And what I'm gonna do, I think, I ought to do them next to the window or in the window for when, you know, I'm copying. Well, I think this should be fine. And then we essentially make it go as high as we want, because we set a new scale for ourselves. So we come back and we have a nice look at it. Now that looks nice. But what I want to do instead is take away that level. And there's one very simple change that we can do that will increase how cool it looks. It is so simple you might not have even noticed what I did. But you probably did, because, I mean, ooh, that does actually... Okay! And then we ask ourselves, is that good? I look at it, and I'm like, yep. Pretty much. And then that's it, my friends. Now, obviously, I'll have to have an evening, right? There'll be an evening of doing a lot of this, where I have to go and add, like, black, because there's no blacks on the side, because these were added afterwards. Black is in, like, some of the windows being off. I'm sure I've mentioned it many times. But basically, remove the glowstone and replace the yellow concrete powder, or the concrete, with black. So then it gives the illusion that the rooms have their lights off. Jesus Christ. What is this explaining that I'm trying to do? Explaining is not a word. Ah! If you give me a moment, guys, my head is kind of exploding. So, yeah. Hello, it's me, Master Fox. Back here with another episode. Well, it's the same episode, we're still going. Another clip, I should say, then. So right in front of me, if it's not at all obvious, this is a new mountain. Yeah. So after we removed block towers, that video is out. So it did go here, down there, way down there, and so I decided to remove it. put it to Miniville, and make a mountain to replace it. Because, you know, mountains are always nice. And, you know, it's outside the city limits, and I always like mountains outside city limits. If you don't know what I mean by that, it's basically the city will not allow you to build beyond this point. And I mean, like, look at how nice this looks. Obviously, it looks very basic right now, but that's because there are no trees. Alright, if I turn my attention over here, over to ChurchField, I'm going to call it ChurchField now. We got some custom trees here, guys. So, you got some small oak and slightly bigger birch. So, cookie my throat. I've been talking to Glitch, right? And he's helped me, you know, craft some custom trees that do actually look a little bit different from my usual trees, which are these ones. Now these ones are fine. Usually I kind of just bring them up and then I just branch out and then I leave them. They're fine. Like, you know, they're good. They're a little bit more creative than just, you know, planting the saplings or placing the saplings. So, very happy with them. Still haven't finished this plot of land. That's what I would like to do in today's video, though, because I know I started this. So I would very much... Oh yeah, I gotta do this. I would very much like to finish this today. Well, not today, but in today's episode. The one you're watching right now. So, things are looking awesome. We're coming along. I need some more custom trees, though. And every time, like, I'm not just gonna copy these and, like, place them all around. I'm actually gonna create new trees after a certain amount of trees. Like, I'll take this tree. Let's say I just made this tree. And I'll place a few of them. Blink, 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 blink. And then I'll stop. And I'll, you know, invent a new tree. And I'll blink some of those around. So then it looks ever so slightly different. I've also decided something. I'm gonna go around to them manually and change up their leaves just a little bit. So when you're flying over, it's a little less obvious that they're, you know, copy and paste. Because with the middle like that, it's like, oh, copy and paste. So it's a little bit lazy. I got to put something here. Because it's driving me demented at this point. I'm like, this is such a bland wall. Like, honestly, I think what I might do, right, just to kill some of the white, is come back here. And I'm gonna do a very simple trick. Might do it actually to here, which may look a little strange. Let me do it down here. Alright, but I need to reduce the amount of white. Let's do... This is a trick that I love. Granite. Brick? No, if I want brick, I should have more than terracotta. Stripped. This is like my favorite style. Yeah, there you go. So that at least looks a little bit more less deadly, you could say. I don't think I'm gonna put a vertical garden because I was in my course today, and I was learning about the fact that apparently somewhere in the world they put grass on the side of buildings on purpose. And so that's like, oh, is that how certain cities can become really abandoned, like look really abandoned, is because they're covered or they have moss or something attached to them? Is that how it's done? Because I'm like, how do they just moss so quick? That's how. They get a little hole and then they rain and then over time it starts to rot. I know that, like I've learned that. There's so many things I'm passively learning, I swear to God. That looks better for now. I am gonna ploink a tree there. This church, obviously, I don't need to say it. There you go. I don't need to say it. It's a beautiful church. It's literally, I think, everyone's favorite build in the Discord at the moment. I think that is one of my best builds. Apologies to everything else I've built, but yeah, best build. Now I'm just running around. It's very weird, very weird. I'm gonna run back to the plot now and talk about what I want to do before this episode is like 3 hours long. So, what do I want to do in this bland area? Oh boy, what do I want to do? So, I'm gonna slop one more building right here. There's one more. Right awkwardly in the middle as well. Right? And then I want to add windows at the back of these buildings. Right? And then I want to add the air conditioner units that I'd love to add. I want to add the piping that I love to add. And then I want to add the roof stuff. That is specifically what it's called. And then this little square will be done. Obviously, I want to put buildings here. And then there'll be trees. I know the lumbering mill is a little bit close, but like, you can just say that this was really old. And the city, like, improved it because the cranes are new, right? And it's just ever so slowly like leaking out. But like I mentioned before, the width is wonderful. No, the length is beautiful. But the actual width of the city is dreadful. Now, I know I've kicked myself in the booty by putting this here and, expanding. But we have, limits. We don't want to go out there. That's icky. We don't want to expand the city too much just because. But there will be buildings going along here. I can tell you that for certain. Buildings here and along there. And that doesn't mean that, like, we can't put, I don't know, some more buildings up here a little bit. You know? Although I do know that Glitch wanted Lamaton State to end right back there where I showed you. So I can't, exactly just keep going without his, say-so. Because he is my manager, after all. Basically, at some point he became my manager. He was like, okay, Fox, you're gonna go mad, so I have to make sure you don't do that. And again, I want to bring this road down and do some more real estate. Okay, I'm really excited to show this to you because I just semi-finished it up. It's not fully finished. I'm actually going to take this approach. I'm going to go through the alleyway. The side road. Yeah, that. Woohoo! Man, this is exciting! Now, it's not done, because I want to add, ironically, I want to add some greenery. It's ironic, because I was learning about adding green to cities, and that's what I want to do. So, as you can see, I got piping and aircon units on the buildings, right, literally attached, so that they look a little bit more busy, a little busier, right? And then, of course, on the roof, if we can get up there, on the roofs, I should say, we got a bunch of these units. Now with the wall things. God, that looks weird without the direct wall. Yeah, that looks better. So I decided to add those just because, you know, to add a little bit of variety or something. And super happy with this so far. But I want to add like leaves, and then I want to add like bins, and then I want to like slightly mess up the ground because right now it's just very clean stone, and that's very annoying to me. So I want to do that because I think it'll come along really, really well. And then I need to move on to like, I might move on to over here, like bring the road down to wherever it's supposed to go. I think I might take that road, bring it, and then swoop it into there. Or I might just bring it on down and then just do the roads going all over the place. Haven't fully planned for how that's gonna look yet, but so far I'm loving this little area. I haven't done anything to this area, given the fact that there is actually very little. So I think what I'm gonna do is just a bunch of this. Because honestly, what else can I do? Let me see, is there something that kind of looks like andesite? Basically, there's parts of roads that look like they've been repaired. So they might look like this. You know, patchy, off-brand, off-color. Something like that. Maybe something like the concrete powder. Coal. I don't know how much the coal would blend in. It might stick out in like an annoying way. Whereas the deep slate blends in kind of nicer. Grey wool, that's a very good block, to be honest with you. Oh, this one might actually look better for where the cobblestone is. Okay, something like that I might do throughout the city, just so it looks not perfect, because, you know, it needs to have, that does really look cool. It needs to have a sense of humanity that, you know, they can't keep up with everything, because otherwise we're gonna have perfect roads and perfect trees and perfect buildings. And it's fine. It's just this kind of stuff, you know, the moss, the leaves, the overgrownness might show a little bit more humanity in a way. You know, it's showing humanity without showing dozens of people everywhere. At least that's my theory on it. Let's add one there. So that looks really good. I think I'm gonna add one moss bit right out here towards the... Well, it's subjectively the end, but it's also the beginning. So, maybe one in this corner. Why not? I'm feeling like it. Because, like, if this ground was stone, which it is, like, it would moss up. Like, it would. It really would. Maybe we could even... Who knows? Could even have moss on the roofs. You know, I want to show a little bit of imperfection. Because I think that's what the people will enjoy. They'll get a sense of a world then without even me saying anything. Like that right there, that, you know, shows, oh, it's been raining and leaves are gathering. Moss is growing and somebody needs to get up there and like look after it. Something like that. See, and then we have a bit of moss growing. So that's really, really cool. That definitely gives it a little bit of a sense of humanity, in my personal opinion. And then we have this. That. Do you notice anything with that? Copper. Now, copper is known for one thing. Also, what happens if I do this? Copper is known for a few things. I can only really think of rusting at the moment. So we're gonna make it rust a little bit more. Alright, we're gonna make it a little bit imperfect. Because right now it's way too perfect. And it's gonna bother everyone. By everyone, I mean... not many people will be looking at the ruse. But, you know, it's these little details. I mean, like, that looks already much better. Okay, there you go. Now, there's a little part of me right now that's making me want to make this building ruined, but that's for a future project, mini project that I want to do. It might even just be copying this world and taking it into single player and making a zombie apocalypse version. Because I was thinking about it, you know, while I was offline, and I was like, well, I want to take this part of the world and make it zombie themed. I want to take this part of the world. And then it kind of just kept going and going to the point where I'm just like, I might as well just download this world, ship it to single player, actually get my world edit to work, and then, like, abandonify the buildings. Make the buildings look abandoned. And all that kind of stuff. There doesn't have to necessarily be zombies, because that would be, well, not possible. But unless it's just constantly nighttime, which I'm not doing, because nighttime sucks. That already looks much better. It's a very subtle detail, but it's there, and I'm happy about it. Yeah, so guys, this is really cool. I'll be doing that, like, throughout the city, making these blocks, you know, a little bit more weathered to show their age, because, like, if they're all these perfectly clean blocks, then they give the idea that they were recently built. You know, like, this is recently built. Right, but we want to give the impression that Shelby County has been around for a while, and there's only been one real caretaker, which is me. And, you know, he's been alone in this realm for years, and... oh, God. I need to build an atmosphere without saying a single word. That's what I'm on about. That's what I need to do throughout this entire world. And literally what I need to do that is keep on building it. You know, keep on making it bigger, making it so it all makes sense. Like this road that just ends in this chunk. The area of Sal. Poor Sal. Glad it's not there anymore. It was kind of a ugly building. I mean, it was a nice building, but I don't know. It's better that it's not around. There are a lot of loose ends I want to fix up, but I think I'm going to leave it there for you today. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did, because I loved it. I do really love working on this part of town. Again, I do have to make it wider, because it's way, way too small. It's got a great length, but horrible width, as I have stated many times before. I wonder what that is. That looks mysterious. Might move that a little bit further away. I don't know. Yeah, because I need to make all this solid. I need to add hills. Guys, it's exciting. In a few months, then I'll be able to move on to Crystal Skies, which is in space. It's way out there, or I should say way out there. But I have to finish this city first, and then I have to move on to the rest of the Shelby County, make sure everything is finished before I start moving on to other parts like that don't really need to be rushed towards. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all. I want to say, before you go, well, you can go I guess if you need to. Yeah, that looks nice. Time set. Is that sunset? Yeah, there you go. It's more of an atmospheric thing that you can't really photograph. I'm gonna try my best to, for everyone at home in my Discord. Let's get one of these. Thank you. Bye bye. Almost, by the way, at 555. 4 5s. That's gonna be exciting. It would have already happened by the time the next episode uploads. I want to remember to point it out. So yeah, thanks. Bye bye.